Yeah, here's something. So we are currently at the epicenter of an oasis that was previously inhabited by ancient Native Americans. And here we found some evidence of their existence. But before we go any further, we need to go back to the beginning of this story and tell you how we found this place. A few months ago, I was researching ancient Native American history in the Southwest when I came across a mysterious oasis I had never heard of. An extremely remote canyon tucked away in the desert that was formerly occupied by hundreds or possibly even thousands of Native Americans. But what makes this place all the more intriguing is the fact that for centuries, this inhabitants was hidden on private land and not a soul from the outside world knew it existed. For hundreds of years, the artifacts left behind by the Native Americans have remained untouched, preserved, and undiscovered. In recent years, though, this vast region has become accessible to the public, but still very few know it exists. So I linked up with my buddy Connor, and we headed into the isolated canyon. Join us as we hike through acres of rugged terrain under the unforgiving desert sun in seek of the hidden artifacts and the meaning behind their cryptic markings. This is the gold mine.
I'm tired.
Yeah, let's head back. What's going on, everybody? Johnny out west here. Welcome to the channel. We have just entered what you might call a lost world. There is archaeology scattered all throughout this canyon that could frankly be explored over the course of years, but we're just here for the day to track down and see what we can find, just to get a picture of what this place looked like hundreds to thousands of years ago, and try to understand some of its stories and the stories of the people that used to inhabit this region. I've actually spent the past few months researching this place, digging up as much information as I can find, even though there's really very little information. It's very well off the beaten path. No services, no cell service here. So we are very much in the remote wilderness. Definitely packed plenty of water, and we did bring a water filtration system in case we need to tap into the creek that we're going to be hiking along all day. It is going to get a bit hot. That will be the challenge, trying to stay cool and hydrated.
There's no guides to this place. There's no maps. There's no markings of where to find stuff, so we're kind of just exploring, and we got 12 miles to cover today, so a lot of tributary canyons and things. So I think we're kind of hoping we run into some stuff. We've got some good ideas of where to look.
So we're starting to see some of the gorgeous sandstone geology that you can find all throughout this canyon, and it is truly beautiful. With about a mile under our belts, we rounded a corner that revealed an amazing display of rock formations way up on a cliffside. I put the drone up to get a closer look at the formations, and when I flew it to the backside of the cliff, I came across a stunning discovery. A granary constructed 1,000+ years ago for food storage, hundreds of feet up on this cliffside. From 700 to 1300 AD, the Fremont people occupied much of Utah and parts of neighboring states. Although they are classified as a Puebloid group, they differed from the ancestral Puebloans, who are known for their elaborate cliff dwellings. The Fremont typically lived in pit houses and wickiups, constructing granaries high in the rocks to store and protect their food. From what, however, is the question. Wow. Super cool geology here. Really cool. Wow, that's cool. like you have first petroglyph of our adventure. This is a small and isolated piece.
Oh, there's a snake.
Oh,
rattlesnake though. It's just a gardener.
the geology just seems to get more and more complex the farther we go into this canyon. And this whole rock wall is just extremely impressive. Just came across some prints in the ground. First we thought it might be a bear print. We came back into this kind of side canyon. So I looked up and I started scanning the cliffs, and I noticed this granary way up high on the cliff. It's not really going to be noticeable from this wide angle. It's right in there. I'll show you a closer look of it. But it's absolutely mind-blowing to think that they would scale these cliffs. They would literally free climb up these cliffs, build these structures, and store their food there. So now that we have found this granary up on this cliffside, we're kind of suspecting that this may have been a dwelling area. And so we're kind of thinking that this might lead us to some other findings. So I think what we're gonna do is kind of scour this area a bit and get up closer to this rock wall. Perhaps find some art on the wall here. Very exciting. Oh. So we found our first piece. Oh, and there's a spiral.
Where's the spiral?
Right.
Oh, right there. Sweet.
You can see that spiral piece. Pretty cool. What do you think that is? A ladder?
Looks like a ladder, yeah. Is it saying to climb up right here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kind of looks like you could climb up right
That's
there.
an interesting point.
Right?
Kind of get the scale. I'm not going to touch them, but you can see how big they are compared to my hand. It's probably like 2.5 feet tall. And it looks like, at first glance, some sort of like centipede, but it also kind of looks like a ladder, which, you know, the Vermont, they could have been signaling that this is where you should approach the cliff wall and climb up to their granaries, store their food, which is really cool. And I think that that's a legit possibility. Yeah, just to give you an idea of how scary and difficult this would be.
Can't even go up one little level.
Looks like here we have a couple more similar petroglyphs. Yeah, it's another ladder and then maybe some small people. Climb up this crevasse here.
So yeah, you're right. I think we do need to look for really flat surfaces, you know?
Yeah.
And again, this kind of like more burnt, like almost black to orange.
Seems to be their favorite canvas.
Right. I wonder if that's because it's easier to carve or if it's just because it's a little more contrast.
We're trying to just hug this cliff wall. Whoa.
A piece of bone I found.
What do you think it is?
No idea.
Bone. Here we can see some more recently etched writing, which is too bad, and it is a bummer because at this point this space should just be merely preserved and observed, and that's it. So now that we've kind of explored this area, you have to imagine that there were dwellings here in this meadow. There had to have been some pit houses, maybe a small town here. It's estimated that there were hundreds of Fremont people that occupied this canyon. So it's just kind of amazing to think about how they cohabited and what the villages were like. Were they large groups of people living together? Was it more like smaller, individualistic tribes within the Fremont people? Because again, as we've talked about, you know, they went to such great risky measures to hide their food. So it again begs the question, who or what were they hiding it from? We've talked about the possibility of animals like bears, and we've talked about other people. That's a possibility too. Maybe there was some aggression between the different groups and tribes and subgroups. It also brings up the important factor that the Fremont people were farmers. So, you know, it is kind of amazing to think that here, basically in the desert, in this dry climate, they were able to successfully farm their food and grow corn. Some have speculated that they created irrigation systems in order to grow their crops, which is pretty incredible to think about. Dude, look at this thing. That is a crazy ass bug.
Whoa. What the hell is hanging off the back of it?
I know this footage does not do it justice, but this rock wall behind us is just incredible. So it's about 90 degrees out today, so we decided to hit the creek for a little bit. Tell you, in the middle of the day, there is not a whole lot of shade to be found in this canyon, but we found a little nook over here by the creek where we're posted up. Just kind of cooled off a little bit and having some lunch.
A very tiny nook.
Yep.
Check this out, it's cool puzzle grass. Each little section can come apart like that. We put it right back together. So cool. I think some people call it zebra grass too. It's like a little natural straw.
Nice. So we were just looking up on this ridge way over here, super high up. There's some really interesting rock structures. There's kind of a super thin arch up there. We're gonna hike over that way, try to get a better vantage point of it, and I'll put the drone up and see what we can find there. So we've been kind of scoping out this gigantic cliff, this rock formation. We both just kind of have a feeling about it. Something that's kind of calling our names a little bit. So it's been really hard to know which direction we should go in, and there's obviously tons of little spaces to explore, but we got to kind of be selective with our time. But anyways, we're checking this one out, and hopefully you will find some clues.
Oh, it's gonna be a hard wall to walk against.
There's got to be something. This does seem like a really ideal area to come back. I mean, we're in the shade right now, which is so nice, and it's just kind of relaxing back here. Yeah, here's something. Ooh. We got a few more spiral petroglyphs. Is it supposed to be like a maze or eyes?
So look, there's a little guy next to you. He's really faint. You see the guy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this one's gotten really weathered down. It's really hard to see, but yeah, it's a human figure.
Possibly.
Possibly human, possibly alien.
That's who they were hiding their food from, is the aliens.
Yeah, there's something else down here. Oh, it's a huge pictograph. This is perfect.
What?
Oh, is it an upside down person? All right, so here's the pictograph that we just discovered. So, of course, pictograph meaning that it was painted as opposed to pecked into the rock like a petroglyph. And it seems to be an upside down person, which is an interesting, kind of a dark piece of art, if you ask me. But pretty big here. It's about 3 feet tall. And while we're here, I did want to specifically make a note that when we come to these sites and we find these artifacts and artworks, we always respect the leave no trace principles. We don't touch the art. We certainly don't create new art near it or over it or around it. And we leave everything as it was when we found it. I just ask everyone to follow those same principles because there's a lot of people out there that lack that respect, and as a result we're losing what's still left of this ancient history. So we need to all kind of do our part to preserve it. Seems like we have more pictographs here. Really hard to say what this is or what this was intended to be. It's very faint, but interesting. And then right here, check out this petroglyph. And then down here, this one is pretty faint as well. Looks like some sort of human figure with some sort of neck piece on, it looks like a necklace, jewelry. This is really crazy. You see this massive rock on the right that's almost just toppled over and is leaning up against this here.
It's crazy.
You just got a few boulders here that are kind of holding it up, which is just mind-blowing.
While some of the artwork left behind by the Fremont seemed innocent and leisurely, other pieces seemed to have more intention, with perhaps a stronger message. Were they instructing one another on habits for survival, or even warning others of the consequences of a failed attempt up these dangerous cliffsides? After 6 laborious miles down the canyon, it was time to hike back toward our campsite to beat the sunset. There were, however, a few locations we earmarked during the first leg of our hike to potentially investigate if we had time on the way back, so we remained hopeful that more ancient discoveries would be in our future.
More prints that we've found. Pretty decent sized cat. So I guess they got mountain lions in these hills too. The one thing that's really taken a toll on us is the sun and how hot it is. There's just very little relief from the sun in this canyon. So we came back to this formation here that we knew we wanted to explore, and we took a little break on this rock because we were super tired and super hot. And I was looking up at this cliff over here, kind of just scanning it, looking for granaries and such. All of a sudden, I see a big pictograph up on the cliff there, and it's pretty high up. But now we know we have to go up there, so we're trying to figure out how we're going to get up there. What are your thoughts for approaching this cliff?
I don't know. The legs are dead tired, so that's bad of an issue. If anything, it looks like best to kind of go up this slide here, see if there's kind of an easier way up on the left behind this kind of porous rock that we can't see. And if not, it looks like we'd be able to climb kind of right next to that pine tree right there on the left. See, it's got some good holes and footholds there.
Yeah.
Climb up there and then follow that shelf along. And then I guess, I don't know, almost go around that outcropping and see if there's a way up, because that's pretty sheer right there.
We should probably get after it.
Alright, let's do it.
This is going to be the big test to end the day. See if we can get up there. So we're going to go for it. We were just getting ready to head up this cliff when I turned around and looked in the other direction and found some remnants of what was a granary right there. You can see actually a ancient wooden support, and then just a few rocks and a little bit of the wall remain, but it's mostly been degraded and collapsed. But pretty amazing. This one's not as high up as most of the other ones, but still would be quite the challenge to get up there. All right, so it looks like there's not really a good route over here, so we're gonna approach it this way. Either climbing using these divots or trying to go up this slope. All right, so we made it up the first section. Not sure how that looked on the drone, but it was a little freaky. So now we're just gonna see if there's a way for us to get up to this next level. It's looking a little intense, but we're gonna try, so. I just got so stoked. I can see 2 huge panels of pictographs. This is the gold mine. This is the gold mine. But I don't know if we're gonna be able to get up there. Yeah, careful right here. It's just like a drop off right there. It is right up there. Just came up here. It almost looks like someone built these steps going up this climb, and I want to try it. It's just, I don't know, up here seems tricky. Well, unfortunately, after many failed attempts, I was not able to reach the second level to get an up-close look at all the pictographs up there. I tried to climb up so many different parts and it was just sketchy, and I was like, not today. But we'll get the drone up there to get a closer look so that you can see them better. It's a really beautiful and impressive panel, and I've never seen anything like it. It's just decorated with big pictographs. All right, so the drone is up there right now, and man, is this panel just amazing. It's like this whole wall is covered, and like on the far right it kind of looks like we have a like a bear claw. Then in the middle you have a lot of kind of human-like figures, seemingly one really big one right in the middle. And then, wow, what is all this? Pretty amazing.
It was difficult to tell from our angle down below, but for scale, this rock wall was likely around 7 feet tall, making some of these pictographs upwards of 5 to 6 feet tall.
Let's find the other one. I'm kind of live flying the drone as I film this. Alright, so the other one is over this way. Yeah, there it is. It's that big white rectangle with a red outline. Pretty crazy, and it's huge. I mean, that is huge. Maybe I'll get in a little closer. This tree is kind of in my way, so. Wow. I think
think, is there something on the other side? Let's kind of go around this tree. Let's see what's up here. Oh, ooh, that was close. Yeah, I can't tell if that to the left of it is just different colored rock. And what is that?
Well, that turned out to be considerably more challenging than we had expected, but it's just one of those moments where you gain all the more respect for the Fremont Native American people who would scale these cliffs and free climb them. And that was the least scary of most of the granaries that we saw today. So it's really very humbling to come out here and try to understand what life was like during those times when things were unimaginably different from the modern world. It just blows my mind that there are these kind of hidden ancient civilizations and that they're still here to be seen and appreciated. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed coming along on the adventure. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. There's gonna be more adventures out west coming very soon. It's Johnny out west signing off. See you guys.
you.